So much for joining the channel this time, and we're going to be looking at a game that I played. It's at the 900 level. I'm 986. My opponent was 900, and it started with the King's Pawn opening, answered with a Caro-Kann. Two very common openings. The King's Pawn opening has been a favorite forever. Bobby Fischer said it was the best by test back in the day. And I got my knight up, and he advanced his pawn, which is good, taking more control over these squares, and of course denying me to come up and go there with unless I want to trade pawns. I get my knight out. It's a good move. He gets his knight out. We're just getting our pieces out. And normally knights before bishops. I move that piece up. I often do that to deny my opponent getting that square, and that's considered a good move by the database. Not always. And so I do that on the other side as well, just getting ready. So my opponent moves his bishop here to control this corridor, which keeps me from doing various things. And maybe he wants to get his queen here and then go and do something along that line. Not sure exactly what he had in mind there. So I put my bishop up to threaten his knight. Now, if you just trade even, you can do that. But if you can trade even and then mess up something in the pawns as well, or maybe get a piece up, that's fantastic. And if you mess up the pawns, chances are you're going to get a piece up. Just keep an eye on one of those pawns because it's difficult to protect two pawns in a row. So he wants to kick my bishop away. Well, that's fine. I believe that he probably should have moved his queen here, and that way he could have, I probably wouldn't have taken his knight because I didn't, I want to take the knight and cause the pawn structure to not be as excellent. So I take the knight, he takes the pawn, and that leaves this corridor open that I need to be mindful of. I mean, who's going to get control of it? Me or my opponent? So we'll just see what happens here. So then I move up here to protect this pawn. And the database said I should have, gone ahead and gone here and traded pawns. Well, that's fine. That would have been a good move, but it would have opened up this bishop's, diagonal there, which I wasn't too excited about. So he moves his bishop back, and that way he can control more diagonals, various different directions, two directions. So the suggestion is move my pawn up, and so he moves his pawn, and I do move my pawn up. And that gives me a little more encroachment into his area. He can't move his knight up now. He can't move his bishop here. So it's a good move. Moves his knight out. The other side, which is fine. Considered the best move for him at that moment. So I get my knight over here, and I like to get, if I don't have anything clear to do. So I've castled over here, and I don't have anything clear to do on this side. I want to kind of protect the pawn structure in here. I don't want to bring the pawns forward. But on the other side, I do. So often I'll get my knights over here. Just go ahead and protecting my my king. So I start putting the pawns up. Then I've got these knights. I've really got that square ultra protected. So I've got this piece on that square, these two knights on that square, and if I move my pawn up, I'd have my queen on that square. So that's a lot of pressure on that square. Well, my opponent saw that, so he decided to bring his own weight to bear on that square. So I went ahead and passed it, and that's considered a best move, because then it would have been hard for me to win on that. Let's see, I would have, if I had taken it. So let's see. If I had taken that, then he could have taken, and then I could have taken, and he could have taken. It would have been an even trade, and then he would have taken. Well, no, he couldn't have. He couldn't have taken that because, I couldn't take his knight. So that would have been a very frustrating little bit of stuff there had I decided to make that trade. But I didn't. And so I guess, I saw that, or hopefully I calculated. You should always be calculating and looking for, weaknesses that you can take advantage of. Forks, pins, skewers, checks, captures, threats, whatever you have to say to yourself so that you're checking as much as you can. So he castled kind of late in the game. One of the things that people do is say that the 900 level, 800 level belowers take a little too long to castle. And that might have been a little too long, I'm not sure, but it's just better to castle sooner rather than later. So I went ahead and put my knight up here. That does open me up to this, but it gives me a chance to take with this pawn and have something to do with this corridor, which I really like to do. So he did. He took my knight. I took his knight. And then it's on to, the mid-game, I would call it. And so he puts his pawn down. So I get my bishop up there. Now, that was considered an inaccuracy. I think maybe he wanted me to get my rook out or get my my queen, something like that, which would have been fine, and then I could have possibly done all kinds of things, not sure. But as it was, he put his pawn down, I put my bishop up, and then, we can have I have 2 pieces on this if he takes, and he only has 1 piece. So he takes, then I take, he takes, I take. Now then, we're good. Now, my knight is in such a good position here. I'm threatening this square, and this square, and this square, and that's a free pawn. Of course, that's my own, so I can't do that. I can also go here. There's just a lot of different powerful moves that this knight has. Always keep in mind all the things that your knight can do. So he takes my rook, considered an excellent move by the database. So I go here. Now I'm threatening to put him in check here, which is pretty cool. And not a lot he can do about that. So he puts his queen over 1. Considered a good move. So he didn't want to trade queens, and that's fine. I don't know that I would have traded queens. It would have been a more even game, probably. So I put a pawn up. I like to get this pawn protected. It was unprotected. And then he puts his bishop there, and that's no longer a free piece. Matter of fact, it wasn't a free piece when he put his queen on there anyway, so it was only a free piece for a little bit. Okay, so then I put my rook there, which is considered a good move. He puts his queen over there, which is fine, and I do trade queens. But at that moment, when he takes my queen, then I go and take his bishop. And so I am, 3 points ahead. And at that point, my opponent, canceled the game. Didn't want to do that anymore, and decided that wasn't excellent. So he resigned at that time. And one of the things that I've seen a lot of recommendations of, when you are less than 1,000, don't resign. Don't do it, because if you made a mistake and a blunder, and you think, well, fiddle, I lost my queen, and you resign, it's possible that your opponent at that same level will make a equally devastating blunder, and it won't be good. So let's just keep on going. So let's say that I took that, and he goes to threaten my knight. See what I would do. So then I would have gone down and taken this, and I would have been threatening that. So then he has to decide what to do at this point. So I am looking at his king. It wouldn't take a lot to checkmate the king at this point. So if I thought, so he would probably go down here to protect both of those. That's what I would do. And then I would have gone ahead and taken it with this. So at that point, if he didn't see what he had to do, he probably would have needed to take the knight. But let's say he didn't say that, and he just decided to threaten my knight. I was trying to make it backwards. So he decided to go here and protect his pawn. At that point, so I can't do that. So I guess I probably would have gone here, and then he would have gone. Not sure. So he would have. I have to go somewhere. So he probably should have gone there. And then I would have captured this. And I don't see a nice, easy move that he can do. He would probably need to protect his king. and then I would probably go here, and then I would have just started advancing a pawn, and he would have had to move something. I think he would have moved his, I would have moved my pawn up, so he had a place for his king to escape. So then I would have just moved a piece up, and I'm not sure, he might have tried to just start coming down with pawns to see what he could do with that, which would have been a pretty decent thing to do. I probably would have taken the pawn at that point, and he would have taken, and we just kept going up. So he would have had to find something to do to get rid of this pawn. So now I have to worry about it. So then I would put my bishop over there and keep advancing the pawn, and then he would, have to move somewhere, maybe move back, I don't know. Then I would have to move somewhere to threaten his rook. So I put a move there, and no matter what he did, he could have moved here, and then I could have moved there, and then it would have been curtains probably. If he had moved here, then I would have just moved there and gotten a queen. Then it would have been very simple to get a checkmate. He could have moved here, and then I would have gone there, and then here, and then I guess it's his move. He would have gone here, gone here. Then he would have perhaps moved there. It wouldn't really matter at this point because it's over. It's checkmate. So so those are the things. So just, don't quit. Keep going with the board and keep moving. And so that you have a next video to watch on your screen as well as to subscribe. Please do one of those two or both. Otherwise, have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching.